People do not understand what caregivers actually go through when they're walking alongside of their loved one. And all they want to do is remove that pain and that hurt from them. And I realize you ain't got no control over this one. And what do you do with that? You can't beat up, you can't fight, you can't pray it away, you can't push it away. There's nothing you can do. And you're left with that. I was actually told, don't let them see you cry. And guess what, Leah? I didn't. So if I expect for people to, come to me for support, I got to be all
Together.
ready for them. I've got to be all together and I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to do it, but I'm not
Wow.
living it.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode and another season of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I'm your host, Lia Fortier. As you all know, here on this platform, we bring to you voices of dynamic women that are out there making a positive impact in their lives, in their family, and the community around them. Women of faith, women of resilience, women who have battled through something, and they are bold enough, strong enough to turn around, grab the hand of another sister, and be a witness. Today's guest, Miss Juanita Bynum, she is a grief and trauma coach, a minister, and a public speaker with over 10 years of experience supporting women through loss and life-altering transitions. She is a CEO of Juanita Bynum's Grief and Coach in Trauma Coaching LLC, of the founder of Heart to Heart Chat, a faith-centered women's support group. A certified mental health advocate and cancer patient advocate through the Mayo Clinic. Juanita serves with the sister network Northeast Florida and Ella Beebe's Angels, empowering women to rediscover strength, hope through faith. After losing her sister to breast cancer, her calling became personal. And today we are here to talk about the unseen warrior, the caregivers, supporting those who carry the weight of caring for loved ones through serious illness while often suffering in silence themselves. I am so excited to welcome my special guest today, Miss Juanita Bynum. Hi, Juanita. Welcome to the well.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you so much for being here, Miss Juanita. You have a powerful story, and you are speaking up for those who are often left in silence. And I'm pretty sure for many reasons that I know we're going to get into today. I know your story is going to be able to relate to so many women. So let's get into it. Before we get started, though, I want to ask you, you say that your calling is rooted in your personal faith. Can you tell me who Juanita Bynum was before you ran into the work that shaped your life now?
Well, I would have to say Juanita Bynum was a simple girl.
Mm,
Loved the Lord, always have. My mom helped us. We grew up in the church. It was just, wonderful being surrounded. We came from a small town, grew up in the church, being surrounded by family and friends. Um, and I thought I had life down pat, Leah. Life was just normal, going along. I was married at the time, raising family, grandchildren, and just kind of living life as it came.
yeah,
Nothing so spectacular, nothing standing out.
yeah.
But just kind of going through life, and just not looking for anything to knock you off that course. You finally
Mhm.
got it together. You've gotten the education, and you're starting to work, and you got the marriage, the family, the children, house, the dog.
Right, picket fence. Yes,
Right, right, the
ma'am.
whole nine. And so you're
Yes,
just you're just living. You're just
yes.
you're just living, and everything is good until
Mm, until.
yeah.
Wow, so powerful. And I want to get more into that because that's how life is sometimes, right? Everything goes just as planned. Can you share how losing your sister began to shape your work that you do today?
Yeah, and I want to, if I may, I want to just briefly start before we got to losing my sister when my world. yeah, actually got knocked off his pedestal just completely off guard is when I lost my mom. I lost my mom in 2013, and that's, I tell everybody, that's a whole other book. Um, and that's when my world completely unraveled. Um, but in that, I started my ministry called Blessing Through Broken Hearts. And I started that in a church because at the time, there wasn't any grief counseling for anyone. So when I went to my church for that assistance, there wasn't any. And
Mm,
so I didn't want people to hurt like I was hurting.
yeah.
And so I started the first grief ministry in that church. And when I say my life started back being kind of on a king level, was everything was just going well. I got the ministry started. I was helping women with their grief and trauma, and that was also assisting me. That was helping me, and I became a minister of the church and just kind of working with people, and that helped me heal, through that with my mom. And so I got my life back under control the best way I could after losing your mom, right? So living, existing, going through day to day, helping others, just kind of diving into that work of helping and supporting and being there so no one else would be hurting like I was hurting. And so I was okay.
Okay
I was
again.
okay again. I
Yeah.
was okay again, Leah.
Mm,
And it
yeah.
just, life just has a funny way of just sneaking up on you when everything is good and you're taking the vacations now and you're with your family and your
Yeah.
children, and life is just good. I miss mom every day. But I'm going through the motions of supporting other people and healing through that process. So I'm
Were you
okay.
your mom's primary caregiver?
I was not. Not at, my mom
Okay.
lived in California at
Oh,
the
okay.
time. Yeah, and I went
Yeah.
there to stay with her for a brief period, but I was not her primary caregiver. My mom passed away suddenly. No clue, no nothing. We did not know, anything. So yeah, so that in and of itself is a devastating blow. But um, so the work that I started, was to heal myself. But then, of course, you don't know that you're healing yourself. You just think that you're doing, right? You just there. Absolutely. You just there to help. And so with that, I poured myself into that. And
Mm,
I
mm,
was able to just push everything to the back burner, pour myself into that work, and just be that, just run that, started that organization and just run that organization, Blessing Through Broken Hearts. And
yeah.
that's where it started.
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
until again.
Until again.
Yeah.
What was the time frame?
My mom passed away in 2013. My sister had her first diagnosis in 2017. So like 4 years. Yeah.
Let me ask you, when you started that your ministry, did you find an overwhelming amount of women or men? Was it co-ed? I apologize. You did say it was women.
Yeah, it was women. It was
It
women.
was women.
Yes.
Did you find an overwhelming amount of women that came forth that needed this class?
Absolutely. I'll never forget the first person that reached out to me was a first lady.
Oh,
Yeah, was
wow.
a first lady. And
Wow.
her
Mm,
grief
mm.
and trauma was not death. And a
Oh,
lot of times people think that's the only time you grieve.
yes, interesting. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it
Mhm.
was not. She was actually going through a divorce
Wow, yeah.
in the public
Yeah.
figure, in the spotlight
Yes.
as being a
Yes.
first lady. So that was so
Yeah.
devastating to her and so
Mm.
traumatic, And I remember walking her through that, just late night phone calls, crying, just, let's just meet up. It was so traumatic for her, and I'm thinking that I'm put in this position to minister to people who've lost through death. But God showed me there's so many different ways that, that we suffer with grief.
Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, let me ask you, what did grief teach you about God, that you didn't understand before?
That He's present so even in your suffering. I know that God loved me, okay? I know that God has always been with me. But I was under this preconceived notion of I feel like a lot of us are, that when we're suffering, God leaves us there.
Mm.
But He doesn't.
Or we
He is
did something.
yes, he is even more present
Mm.
in your suffering. And that, I'm going to be honest with you. When I first started, and I tell this story all the time in the beginning, when I first started my ministry of blessing through broken heart, no, I told God flat out, no. When I went to the church to receive the assistance wasn't there. And he said to me, "You're going to be the assistant."
Whew.
And I said, "No, thank you.
There's no way.
No way. How can I help anyone with what I'm going through?"
Mm,
I said, "I can't even help myself.
mm,
How can I help anybody?"
mm,
And he
mm,
said, "You
mm,
will.
mm,
You
mm.
will." And I did. I had to obey. You cannot fight God. I just
You
want you to know
cannot.
you can't fight him. So I had to
Mm,
obey. And I did. And it helped
wow.
me tremendously through what I was going through with my mom. Yeah. It really did. And it showed me something, Leah. It showed me all sides of grief. It showed me all different people that grieve. So, it was a lesson, a blessing, a teaching moment. It was everything I needed it to be.
Mm,
I didn't know what he was preparing me for, actually.
preparing you for.
Mm.
Woo. Something bigger.
Ooh, oh my goodness. Oh
Was
my
there
goodness.
like a specific moment when you realized that this pain has a purpose?
After the loss of my sister. Yeah. After the loss of my sister. Like I said, my mom's loss was sudden and we were not prepared for it. And a lot of times you think, what do you want to be there when they're going through it? Is that better? Or do you want it to happen quick? Is that better? It's no better. There's no,
No.
no,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, but it
Mm,
was different.
mm. Yeah.
I didn't have time to know or prepare or wonder or worry or, it just happened. We get a phone call. It has occurred, and you got it, and you're forced into dealing with it.
Yeah.
Um, and so that in and of itself, just kind of sets you up for, what lies ahead. And it was on that foundation of strength that I relied on this second time around. You know, it was.
May I ask you your relationship with your sister? Were you guys really close?
Oh my Lord,
Mm.
Leah, let me tell you, my
Mm.
sister and everybody thought we were twins.
Well,
We were as close as two sisters could be.
mm.
We were, I mean, I talk about it in my book. My mom used to tell the story all the time how I used to crawl into my sister's crib and lay beside her. And, even now we're like 19 months apart,
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
would get in her crib and sleep beside her. My mom said I would take her bottle too, but I didn't want all that. But
probably all
all that.
that.
But just from the beginning, it was almost like I needed to take care of her. I
Yeah.
needed to protect her. And I
Oh,
did
wow.
that. I did that throughout her life. We were so close, and anybody that know us know that relationship. Um,
Mm.
it was she was my best friend.
Yeah.
Um, and I just, that's different. That's a different type of hurt. A
Yeah.
different type of hurt.
Yeah. And in this moment, let me ask you this. What did your own healing process look like for you in the early days of your loss? I know you had your ministry. Did you just jump right in and say, you know what, this is all the training that I've been working for? This is the moment. Or how did that
Ooh,
look?
Leah, let me tell you. Um, I talked to my father. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, God, and I said it, I talked to him real.
Yeah.
You were there with me through losing my mom. And I
Mm.
said, I'm going to need you the very same way. I said, because I can't do this one. I can't do this one. This one, right? This is my make or break, God. So I can't do this. And so I need you to do it for me. I mean, take me, just do it for me. Knock me unconscious, do whatever you need to do it for me. This was a whole other type of hurt, healing, and understanding of purpose and pain. Because when you lose a parent, nothing prepares you for that. Nothing prepares you for that. And I wasn't prepared for that. And I didn't realize after losing my sister how unprepared I really was for losing my mom and what all I pushed to the back with going forward and trying to work through it and not allowing myself to feel anything. When I was going through with my mom, I decided that feeling was not in the cards for me. I had work to do. And I didn't want to feel my pain. I just wanted to help people with theirs. Imagine that. How do you do that? How do you even begin doing that? But that's what I did. So in this process, I was faced with so much along because it was a from 2017 up to 23. It was a long process of pain. It was a long process, a long journey, absolutely, of ups and downs and bell ringing and disappointment and news and chemo. And it was more than I thought my heart was going to take. And I was prepared. I was prepared to say, you know what, I'm cool either way it goes because I'm hurting. I can't deal with this.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you're being strong for her, taking care of her, that your heart was bursting at the seams
Oh,
silently.
that's why the book is written, Leah, because people do not understand. They do not understand what caregivers actually go through when they're walking alongside of their loved one that they love so deeply, and all they want to do is remove that pain and that hurt from them. All they want to do is take away. And I've always, when you talk about the closeness that my sister and I have, I've always been the one that stepped in. Nobody was going to hurt her. Nobody's going to say anything to her. Nobody's was going to, no. Juanita stepped in. It was always known, right? And so I talk about this in my book as well. And I talk about the moment that I realized you ain't got no control over this one. No control over this. And what do you do with that when you've been the protector and the one that's holding it together and being that strength for someone, and you realize that this you can't you can't jump in front of, you can't beat up, you can't fight, you can't will it away, you can't pray it away, you can't wish it away, you can't push it away. There's nothing you can do, and you're left with that. You're left with that. I can bring the cool rags to your head. I can bring the cups of water to your bed. I can rub your legs and massage your I can do all those things to help you feel better. But when this adversary of breast cancer
Mm,
is
mm, mm.
so severe that all you can do is watch your loved one suffer from it. Oh, Leah, that's a whole other place to be. And you're also unseen. You are unseen. You are doing all you can to be everything that you can be. But
Wow.
what you're doing for you, oh, that caregiving for yourself, that taking you're out there caregiving, but that caregiving for yourself and taking care of you, you don't even think about. You don't have time to think about it. You don't have time to think. So it can be it can be a time period that the one that is doing the most for the one that is going through is the one that needed the most. Yes.
And the way you brought life to that was so powerful. I can look in my own world and see moments like that, identify moments like that where you just had no control over
Yes. Yes.
a situation that was ending a job, a relationship that was done.
Yes. Yes. And you can't, what can you do? What can you do? You're faced with a reality that you don't want to deal with. You can't face it because you're a fixer. You're that fixer, you're that protector, you're that support. So how do I fix this?
Many women, we struggle with the guilt as we're talking about being the fixer, right? We struggle with the guilt when they grieve deeply. How do you help women reconcile their faith and sorrow?
You have to understand that you are not the one in control.
Oh, that's it.
Point
Ooh,
blank. You are not in control. When
that's it.
you talk about guilt, let me play on that word for a second. When someone that you love is first of all sick, and you're there for them and you're trying to do everything that you can for them, and just 1 minute in a day you just want to take a second to just walk away and say, I don't want to deal with this right now. Leah, the guilt that you feel
It's
for
heavy.
oh my goodness, the guilt that you feel for just wanting a second to breathe, and you look at them and they're going through that, and you talking about you need a second. Come on.
Mm,
How you need a second and they're going through all of this? But you
mm.
really do. But that guilt will eat you alive
That's good.
because you think that you're not supposed, you think it's selfish to feel like that.
Mhm.
Then you have the guilt of once they transition or you lose that loved one,
Mm.
or let's say that relationship or whatever it's, because I can tell you some stories of some people that have already talked to me, right? When you lose them and you got that guilt of the fact that you didn't do enough. All you didn't save them. You didn't keep them. You didn't change their mind. You didn't do all, and then you're stuck in that guilt that you carry. Oh my gosh, it's a heavy burden. It's so heavy and hard to release guilt. And the first thing that I want women and men to understand is, first of all, it's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay.
But
Yeah.
you gotta also understand it wasn't yours to carry.
You're not in control.
You're not. I don't care how bad you want to be, and you want to be. We're as women, we think that we are supposed to shoulder the world, carried around, do everything. We the wife, the mother, the spouse. We working 15, 20 hours a day, and we coming home working another 15, and it ain't but 24 hours in a day. And you
Yep.
think that you supposed to be able to do it all. And then you take the time to
Mm.
go and care for someone else, and
Yeah.
you do all the other
That's
things. You got the phone calls from the school, phone call from, your job,
it.
phone calls
Right.
from things that you have to do, that you have to take care of. What you don't really know is you don't have to take care of everything. But you got all of this that you're dealing with, all of this that you're wearing on your shoulder. And you think that you are supposed to still be able to stand strong and hold it. You can't get a bend in your shoulder. You can't lean to the side. You got to
Mm-mm.
stand erect and shoulder it all. But then when it starts to tumble and fall, and you got your hands going and you trying to catch
Mm.
everything, and some things are slipping through.
Mm. That guilt starts creeping
Oh
up on
my
you.
gosh, because I was supposed to catch that.
Yep.
I had to catch this. That was mine to catch.
Mm, mm, mm.
We
Wow.
gotta give ourselves grace, Leah.
Yes.
We
You're
got to give
absolutely
ourselves grace. We cannot do it all as bad as we want to. As I don't know, much as we've been taught that, you got to be that strong sister. You got to do that. I'm sorry. Don't. Mm-mm.
no,
You
no.
can't.
I love what you said. Juanita, Miss Juanita, if we could just, highlight this really quickly for some of us who have those control issues, who want to do it all. You said something that I have to remind myself every day, that I am not in control of this. I can do everything that I can possibly do, but things are going to work out. Your children are going to be who they're going to be.
Yes.
Things are
Oh,
going to work out just the way God has them planned. And
yes.
all you can do is do what you can, and you got to pray through the rest.
You got to pray through the rest. You got to learn to surrender some things. You got to learn to, dictate responsibilities. That's one of the hardest things as a caregiver, that you think that if I give it to someone else, they're not going to do it like I would do it. Well, they probably won't, but it still will get done. And they may do it better. Maybe that's the issue we have. Maybe they think, well, they'll do it better, you know. But but we don't want to share
Mm.
that responsibility. And as a caregiver, you really, really think that you're supposed to be there through it all. And it's okay to, dictate some responsibilities. Let someone else come in and wash the dishes while you sit in the room. Let someone else run an errand while you sat down for a second. You I'm preaching to people that are things that I never practiced. I never practiced. I don't know no one else, and especially when it came. I'm gonna just be honest, when it came to my sister Veronica, nobody no. I had to do it. I want to be the one in control, until I realized I had no control.
What does it truly mean to walk with God through loss, not just survive it?
We know that when we walk, it's one step at a time. When you're walking with God, it literally is one step at a time.
Yeah.
Leah, the best thing that I will tell anybody, do not go ahead of God. Do not lag behind God.
Mm.
Stay right there beside him. The thing, walk beside him, then allow him to lead you. If you let him go ahead. When I say don't lag behind, I don't mean don't follow. I mean don't lag. Don't stop. Don't say I got this over here. You go ahead, God. I got this. No.
Mm.
You gotta
Mm.
let God stay in control. You got to. It when I say walk with God, you're not just surviving. You can't. You're not just when you're walking with God. You're not just surviving. God is taking care of everything. You are being molded. You are being transformed. This pain that you are being protected. This pain that you're going through, it's like he puts it in a bubble. And he really truly comforts. He really truly comforts. And you have some days that you didn't even realize that you made it through. Then you look up and say, I made it through that. I survived it. And oh, Leah, it's a difficult. I when I tell you this journey, this ministry that God has had me on, when he came to helping women through grief and trauma, this has been a roller coaster of emotions and things that I've been dealing with and going through and hearing stories, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I didn't want it. Nope, I didn't want it, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
Can I ask you to dig a little bit deeper when you said, I love how you said this, walk with God beside you, side by side. Don't want to go ahead of them and don't lag behind. I want you to dig a little bit deeper on that lag behind, because sometimes when that sadness, that grief and depression gets on you, how do I not just fall and, lock myself in a room, can't get out the bed? Like, how do I know that that God is still there? Like, talk to some of us through this, Miss Juanita.
So let me say this first, Leah. Lay in that bed, pull that
Mm.
cover over your head, give
Mm.
yourself a minute.
Yeah.
That comes from thinking that you can do it all. Take a
Yeah.
break, take a pause, take a breather. If you need a day to lay in that bed, I'm gonna tell you, and this is something my daughter used to say to me all the time. She said, shower in your pain, don't bathe in it. Let it flows over you. Let it rinse you off. You're going to feel it. Do not be that type of person to say, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to deal with it. No, because it's going to creep in, and it's going to creep in some ways that's going to cause you to go into some other things. Depression is one of them. Substance abuse is another. You just totally get into yourself when you don't allow yourself to feel. So live. You want to lay in that bed for today,
Mm.
for today,
Come
for
on.
today.
For today.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Lay
Yep.
in that bed for today.
Mm.
It's okay not to be okay.
Mm.
So it's okay to feel.
That's good.
It's okay to deal with it the way you deal with it. And do not allow no one to tell you how you should mourn, grieve, or feel, because it's different for everybody. Well, I didn't lay in the bed. I got up and I got right back to work. Well, that was you. That was you. Today I don't feel like doing nothing.
Nothing.
And I still
Mm.
today take my days, Leah.
Yeah.
I take my days. I
Yeah.
didn't do it with my mom. I could not feel. I did not want to. I worked. I did. I did. Now I know. I take my day.
That's
If I
surviving it, right?
that
When
oh
you're
my
just
gosh.
going, you're surviving.
You are, yeah, that's surviving. That is actually just going through the motions. You're not dealing with anything. I'm a survivor. I'm doing this. I got this. I'm going on. I'm working. I'm the minister. I'm got it. And that was another hard one to deal with, being a minister and talking about and grieving. Oh,
Oh,
you don't do
yes.
that. You don't do that. No, 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 no. So
Mm.
the difference in that is it's okay to give yourself that day, but you got to understand you got to get up. You got to get up,
You have to.
because the love that you have is still a growing love. And you got to go and plant it in other places. You got to go and let other people see how much you still love and how much you're still able to do and how much you can still. Okay, God, while I'm laying there in my pajamas in my bed with my cover over my head, God, what do you want me to learn from this?
That's good. That's good.
And
That's
listen to him. Listen to him.
he will show you.
He will show you, what do you want me to do with this today? If you say just rest, okay. If you say get up, give me the strength. I can't do it. Give me the strength.
If he says write, journal.
All of it. All of it. And it's funny that you say that, because he told me to do the same thing. And I said, no, thank you. Again. Right? How can I put pen to paper and talk about this? How could I do that? I can't let I could not let those thoughts form in my mind. I couldn't, it took me a while. It took me a while to be able to say my sister's name, Leah. It took me a while to say my sister's name.
Wow.
Yeah. So I took my
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay. What you need, ask for it.
Yeah.
Ask for it.
That is so, so good. I'm glad you gave that validation. I'm glad you gave that some peace to someone. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to ask you just to go a little bit deeper on how being a minister, how did you change that narrative to the fact that ministers can grieve in your church or in your environment?
So one of the ways that I did it, Leah, believe it or not, was I didn't hide my pain. I was, this is a true story. I was actually told, don't let them see you cry. I was told that. I had lost my mom, and I was told, don't let them see you cry. And guess what, Leah? I didn't. I didn't. I went
Mm.
years not letting anyone see me cry. because I was a minister. I was in the forefront. I started this blessing through broken heart ministry of the church. So if I expect for people to, come to me for support, I got to be all
Together.
ready for them. I've got to be all together and give
Yeah.
out the best advice that I'm not following and tell them how they should do things that I'm not doing. And, I'm just fake. But I'm okay. And I think I'm right. And I think I'm doing it. And I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to do it. But I'm not
Wow.
living it. How can I?
Wow.
I'm not living it. And I was told never let them see you cry. And I didn't. But this time,
This
Leah, I had no control over it.
time.
I had no control over it. When those emotions hit me, and I can remember being at a function. I was at the Sisters Network in Dallas, Texas, and at a function. And I'm sitting at the table, and you got all of these people around you, and we're all suited and booted, and we're discussing things, and they put something on the screen, and I lost it at that table with no control and didn't even know how I was boo-hooing like a baby and didn't even know it hit me that fast. And I sat there and I could hear people saying, "Get her up, take her outside, take her out." And I sat there and I said, "No, no, you're going to see this.
You gonna see
You're
this.
going to see this." And that's how you break that stigma.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You see that I may be a minister, but I'm a human being. I may be a minister, but that's my mom, that's my sister. I'm strong in my tears.
Mm.
My strength lies in me showing you my raw emotions.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Don't deny people of that.
That's
No matter your title. No. That's
that's
what's
good.
killing them. That's what's causing so much of this depression and so much of this that you're going through. I remember I said my first person when I started my ministry was a first lady that could not grieve openly or talk about her situation because she was a first lady. So she had no one to go to.
Just keeping it all inside.
Like I said, 3 a.m. in the morning, she's just overwhelmed with so much trauma, so much grief that and I thank God that I was the one that she could call. But I was the only one. You had a whole congregation. That's
Oh,
sad.
good.
That's the way we do each other. That's the way things
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
That's the way it's seen.
Yeah.
That's where the stigma stays and grows. And then you got
Mm.
people that are living in this and they don't know what to do with themselves other than to just keep it in and not tell anybody I hurt you.
Act like they're healed the whole time. That's the woman of the well. That's what God wants. That's what Jesus he wants to show himself through your life, and he cannot do it if we trying to be cute.
Oh, it's the beauty in what you're doing. That is
Yes.
the beauty in what you're doing, having these stories told and
Mm,
having it resonate with pain that other people are experiencing,
yes.
and they can see somebody on there like, you know what? That was me.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I can grieve. I wanna go a little bit deeper into that caregiving role. I know we kinda touched on it a little bit, but I wanna ask you, how can church communities and church better support the caregivers?
The reason why I call it unseen is because a lot of times that they just don't know. They just they that I don't think I can put it any better. They just don't know. And what I want people to understand is it takes nothing away from the person that are actually going through it. That support that is needed so desperately for the one that's caring for the one that's going through it. They just don't know. I had a wife reach out to me, Leah, and say her husband is actually going through illness of his own, and she has gone from being a wife, that intimate partner, to actually being a caregiver, and it's almost like he's her child, and she's having to take care of him, right? And she said, I'm doing this day in and day out, and other family think I got it. You the wife, you got it. But they don't realize what she's having to deal with. First of all, she's got to deny her own self. Whatever it is that she wants, whatever it is, whatever plans, whatever she had, together to do, that's out the window. I got to now be a caregiver. So and then I've got to see my husband go through this, and we had a life plan. We have trips planned and retirement, and
Yeah.
all the things that we had planned. When people around you don't understand or don't see you, they can't help you. So I want to get the message out for the unseen warriors, because they need to be seen. They need to be understood. They need to know that they got a right to take a minute and have someone. Your churches, you should be there supporting them. See, let me sit in with him tonight. You go take a hot bath. But how am I going to say that if I don't even see you? How do I help you, Leah, if I don't see you? I think you're doing your wifely duty, and you good. You got it. you know and that's what it is when a loved one, when you step in there to take care of a loved one, you're doing your duty, and you doing what you're supposed to do, and that's where the world see it. What you complaining for? What you mean you tired? You ain't doing nothing but sitting there in a chair while they laying in bed suffering. I'm suffering. Every time my sister turned and groaned, I groaned. Every time she hurt, every time she moved, every time she threw up, and I'm holding a puke bucket, every single thing that she went through, I went through it. But people don't see that. You just a sister. That's your sister. You're doing what you're supposed to do. We're human. We hurt. The phone calls when I'm sitting there beside her, when the doctor called and say there's nothing more we can do. I was sitting right there beside her when she got that call. Leah, she fell in my arms. And you're going to tell me that I didn't hurt? You're going to tell me that I didn't feel I ugh, you can't tell me that, but no one sees that. And we don't do it to be seen. We're just there in that moment doing what we're supposed to do. But we need that support desperately.
How do these people come forward? What do they do? Who do they go to? I know you have a ministry in your church, but for the New Covenant Church down the street, who says, you know what, I love what she's doing. How can I get this going in my church as just a member? This is not like, who do I like? Do I go to talk to my pastor? Like, how do I get this going?
One of the first thing I would love is one of the things that I'm campaigning for, I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get into different churches and have this conversation. That's where I am. That's what I'm doing with after I wrote this book, I also created a journal, and I'm starting to I'm starting classes and and workshops and different things like that to go inside of churches and and talk to the congregation, talk to the first lady, talk to the pastors, let them understand, let them see the importance of this. Because you got women in this room right now
Yeah.
that are going through the very same thing that I'm talking to you all about,
Yeah.
but y'all don't see it. So let me show you what it looks like.
Come
Let me, you know what, if you don't want to talk to them, let me come in and talk to them. That's what I'm trying to do right now. That is what I am working toward in this ministry, to go into places that this is needed. The church down the street that never thought about how important it was. Let me show you how important it truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to start your own. Let me give
Get
you
start.
a blueprint of how to
Let me
start
give
this
it to
in
you
your.
because I got it. I got it.
Oh, Miss Juanita, I could see it. I could see it. Let me ask you, in your coaching sessions, what are some of the first things that you help people confront? You said, let's say you go in and you have a room full of people. What are some of the things that you bring up to start triggering some of those things that saying, yeah, I am that person. I am suffering in silence.
Let me brought me to one of my workshops that I did, and it was so profound that I said that I will try this again. I had ribbons, and every color ribbon represented something. Like if you lost your sister, it was one color. If your mom, this color, that color. And what I did, when they first came in, everybody got the ribbon, and then I asked everybody to walk around the room and find your color ribbon.
Oh, that's
And the ladies, when they saw, just say for instance, a pink ribbon was for the sisters. When you saw another pink ribbon, you resonated the fact that you lost a sister. And that struck a conversation. And you understood their pain. And they embraced. And it was so profound that Leah, that even myself, I was
Mm.
holding my ribbon and I was walking through the room and I was looking for my ribbon color. And I saw someone with that same color ribbon. And the emotions that came over me, and we just embraced. So
Mm.
one of the first things I want you to do is understand you're not alone.
Not alone. I love it.
Yeah, that's
I
the
love it.
first thing that I want you to understand. Removing that stigma
Love.
of isolation. When you walk in here, we're all going through something.
Oh man, Miss Juanita, my mind is going a million miles per hour. Your ministry is so powerful, and you have and God prepared your heart for it.
Yeah, yes, he
He
did.
prepared your heart for it
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Leah.
and broadened your shoulders to carry it.
Oh God, thank you for that.
Mm.
Thank you for that. That's amazing for you to say that to me. I I,
Mm.
I just, like I still say, still to this day, I still need that.
How do you help women shift from why me to why now or what now?
Okay, that's good. That's good. Um, why are you saying why me? We got to deal with that. What do you mean why me? What about it is you? One of the things that I help women and love to help women do is find their self-identity in Christ. Why me? What part of this is you? You know what I'm saying? Don't take on all, because you ain't got, remember, you don't have any control over this. You have no control over this. So don't take it all. It's not yours. So what do you mean, why me? Let's deal with that part. Work on that part. Because we want to say, this wasn't supposed to happen to me. Why not? Tell me something about you that make you unique. And then let me put you together with some women that's gone through what you've gone through.
Mm.
That's probably said the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, let's shift our thinking process, and let's take it away from woe is me, why me, to what's my next. That's how we shift, because it's happened. It has occurred. You couldn't stop it. If you could, you would have. Now let's deal with it. And we're going forward with this thing.
What would you say to some women right now who are listening to this and she feels like she's barely holding it together right now? What would you say to her?
Honey, it's going to be okay. You're going to have days when you're not going to hold it together. And those are the days that you don't have to, that you can truly release and let God have it. There are some times that you're going to want to cry all day long. And it's okay to cry all day long. We ain't going to stay there. We ain't going to cry tomorrow, too, now. We're going to get it out today. But you can, you know what? One of the most taboo things to say is it's going to be okay. When you're going through somebody, it's going to be okay. And I'm like, how you know it's going to be okay? I'm a witness.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh, wow.
I'm a witness. And
Wow.
so I need my testimony to show women it's going to be okay. Every day it's not going to be okay. I'm not going to lie to you. But overall, it and you are going to be okay.
You literally just took my next question. And there it is. I was going to ask you, what does being a woman witness mean to you?
My testimony,
Your
Leah, my
testimony.
testimony.
Something
Oh,
God has brought you through.
ooh,
Wow, that's beautiful.
yeah.
Okay, Miss Juanita, I need to know where we can find your book. Where can we find your book? Where can we connect with your ministry? If we're listening to this right now, we have no outlet. We need you. I need you to give us all that information.
Okay, so my books are available on Amazon. I have my books here now. This is my book, The Unseen Warrior, a caregiver story of love and loss. It's her journey, so it's her battle, I'm sorry, her battle, our journey, and it's available on Amazon. And this is the 30-day healing journal that I created. And this is the one that I use at my workshops and that I'll be going into churches, taking days, and we'll be going through my coaching. My grief and trauma coaching will come from the workbook, the journal here. And then we'll be assisting, women and men through that caregiving journey or healing journey, whatever it is that you're going through.
Yeah,
I have a website that's blessingthroughbrokenhearts.org that you can reach me on that. Go on that website and you can see some of the things that I have. My heart to heart chat, women's support group is on my website as well. And I'm, of course, on Instagram, Facebook, at Blessing Through Broken Hearts. So that you can find me there. But both of my books are available on Amazon right now.
perfect, perfect, perfect. I loved our conversation. Absolutely loved our conversation. I looked up and I was like, where did the time go?
Oh
That's
my
like
gosh, you're right. You're
that's
right. Yeah.
how we know that
Yeah.
God has
Mm,
had his way in this conversation. I
yeah.
know that so many people are going to be affected by this, healed, restored, and ready to move into what now?
Yes. What now? What now? I love what now because we can't change what has happened, but what now, God? What now? What do I do with this now?
Let me ask you before I let you go, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
My sister Veronica loved every moment of life, even during the times that she couldn't even hardly stand or, keep her head up. She kept a smile on her face. She kept us laughing. She was telling jokes when she couldn't even hardly talk. Love. We gotta if we understood what love truly is, Leah, I wouldn't be unseen.
Oh, my God, that was powerful.
You'd be right there. You'd already know what I need.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Love. Love. Let's love each other. And with love, it's gonna come that support. It's gonna come those conversation. It's gonna come that check-in. Just love each other. You say you love me? Show me.
Check in on me.
Check in on me. I
Yeah.
may look like I got it all together. I don't.
Mm,
Check
mm.
in on Leah.
Yes,
Check in.
yes.
Yeah.
Whew, Miss Juanita, I think this is such a good note to leave off on love. I think everybody who knows somebody who has gone through something, or you may even have a thought that they're going through something right now, check in on those unseen people. Let love lead us. Hear that little voice in the back of our head when God is saying a name. Just
Yeah.
text them.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a perfect place to leave off on. We're gonna leave with love.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you
Um,
so much, Ms. Juanita, for
mm,
coming here and pouring it this well. I enjoyed our conversation so much. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you so much for this platform. Let me first say that because you are the reason the message is getting out there. And today will change the lives of a lot of people, Leah. Keep letting God use you and doing what you're doing because you are allowing people to come on and you're providing a platform for them. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Ladies, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I want to thank my special guest, Miss Juanita Bynum. I want you to go out and grab that book. I want you to make sure that you are following her on all social medias and give us feedback. We want to know what you think. We want to know how you were impacted by this conversation. And if you know someone who needs love, who needs to be seen, who needs to be heard, send it to them. Don't even give them explanation. Just send them to say, listen to this. This is for you. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast. And perhaps you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time.